From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News Weekend Edition.
Good evening. Welcome to the Saturday edition of the Fbx Evening News. I'm Katie Looper. Our top story tonight. There were no injuries reported from a structure fire at 1506 Lathrop Street today. The Fairbanks Fire Department responded to a reported fire just after 3:30 this afternoon. There was little damage to the duplex as a result of the blaze, as a quick response allowed fire crews to douse the fire. Firefighters on scene say most of the damage was smoke-related. Initial investigations show the fire originated in the boiler of the duplex. Alaska Governor Bill Walker issued an administrative order yesterday that put a halt on the new state spending for 6 capital projects. Jamie Schwartzwald has more.
Governor Walker issued the administrative order on Friday directing all state agencies to stop non-obligated spending on 6 projects amid a growing budget deficit and falling oil prices. Included in the project list are Ambler Road, Juneau Access Road, Susitna-Watana Dam, Kodiak Launch Complex, Nick Arm Crossing, and the Alaska Standalone Pipeline Project. In a press release issued by the Walker administration today, the governor said, quote, "These are large projects that require significantly more state investment to complete. I've requested that state agencies not enter into any new contracts until we've had a chance to look at the various projects." Walker warned the Fairbanks business community earlier this month that lean times were ahead in regards to capital projects.
It's going to be a pretty thin capital budget this year.
On the list is the Ambler Road project that would build a 200-mile industrial road through the Southern Brooks Range, connecting the Ambler Mineral District with the Dalton Highway. At a mid-December ADA meeting in Fairbanks, several residents of the area gave public testimony against the project.
The state can't afford it for starters. It never really could, even at higher oil prices and increased revenues.
Walker requested the Department of Transportation and Public Facilities, the Department of Natural Resources, Alaska Energy Authority, the Alaska Aerospace Corporation, Nick Arm Bridge and Toll Authority, and the Alaska Gas Line Development Corporation to submit by January 5th to the Office of Management and Budget a report detailing operating costs thus far, all funding obligations, as well as the potential effects for delaying, suspending, or terminating contracts. Walker says this is a way for the state not to commit new money into a project that may be not continued. Jamie Schwartzwald reporting.
Governor Walker and Lieutenant Governor Byron Malott will hold an inaugural ball in Fairbanks on July 24th at the Carlson Center. It is one of 7 such events being held across the state between January 3rd and March 7th. The others will be held in Valdez, Juneau, Nome, Anchorage, Wasilla, and Ketchikan. Organizers say no state money will be used to pay for the balls. Private sponsors will be recruited, and organizers hope to raise as much money as past inaugural committees, which have solicited as much as $500,000 in contributions in the past. Gas prices dropped 9 cents a gallon in Alaska last week, and it's related to the drop in world oil prices. Monty Bowen talked with a local expert on the subject to find out what we can expect to see in the future.
A local petroleum economist says you have to look closely at what's going on. Doug Reynolds says a lot of people believe it is a supply side issue.
But if you look carefully at what happened starting in July this year, there was a steep decline in the demand side. So there's recessions in Europe, recessions in Russia, Brazil, Japan, maybe even China. And so their demand for the oil has kind of gone down, and that's basically plummeted the price.
In the days before instant communication by way of the internet and a global economy, OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, and Saudi Arabia could pretty well set the price of oil by their actions.
They would change their supply. Even in Texas, they used to change their supply whenever demand changed, so you didn't really see any changes in prices.
The lower prices mean less revenue for the state.
So these revenues fund a lot of things, so there's going to be a lot of cutbacks, park service, university stuff, roads. You just have to maybe get used to a little bit of that, you know, the bad with the good.
Reynolds said there are too many factors to be able to predict how long things will remain the way they are now.
With the price so low, you're going to have a lot of projects put on hold, a lot of new projects, oil projects put on hold. And so what can happen is you can start getting this lull in the supply, then suddenly there's an increase in demand and you get a big shock. Then that could put you back in recession worldwide, and then you kind of go back down. So more likely, I expect volatility to happen now in the future.
This is Monty Bowen reporting.
We'll have more when the weekend's only televised newscast returns. Stay with us. Welcome back. This evening, the Goldstream Valley Lions Club is hosting its annual fireworks display at the Ken Kunkel Community Center next to Ivory Jacks. The event is funded by local businesses through donators raised by the Lions Club throughout the year. The club has been putting on the fireworks show for nearly a decade. Club member Stephen Carter says the event includes more than just a light show.
Tonight at 9 o'clock is going to be our fireworks show. We'll start at 8 o'clock with the bonfire. We'll get that going up. And the community center will be open for hot chocolate and hot dogs. And once we get all these fireworks lined up in a specific order, and at 9 o'clock sharp, they'll be going off.
With the recent snow accumulation, hundreds of skiers and snowboarders got out to shred the fresh powder, try out their new gear from the holidays, and enjoy the beautiful weather. Moose Mountain was a popular resort today. Skiers waited anxiously at the bottom of the hill to take a warm bus ride up to the top. And even with the negative temperatures today, the snow attracted hundreds.
The snow makes it nice to be out here today, even though it's a little bit colder than normal.
We do a pretty good job coming out as much as we can. You know, again, it's all dependent on the weather. We got a pretty late year this year with the snow, so we've just been trying every chance we can get. Even though it's a little chilly today, we were like, we got to go. You know, it just snowed.
Brand new board, first time trying it out. New bindings too, and new goggles are all working pretty well.
I'm just looking forward to more weekends out here.
They're all having fun. It's been really warm. It's cold right now down at the bottom, but up at the top, it's really warm.
On Monday, we'll begin our look back into this year's biggest stories. One of those that we have been following is the murder of 2 Alaska State Troopers in the village of Tanana. Trooper Gabe Rich and Sergeant Scott Johnson were fatally shot on May 1st. Since then, 2 men, a father and son, have been in custody at Fairbanks Correctional Center. Nathaniel Kangas faces charges of murder, and his father, Arvin Kangas, also faces felony charges, including tampering with physical evidence. On Monday, we'll take a look back at the case, which is due to be tried in Superior Court this April in Nenana.
These are serious crimes, killing 2 Alaska State Troopers, 2 of my Alaska State Troopers, and he's certainly a danger to the community if he went back to Tanana, to the residents of Fairbanks if he stayed in Fairbanks.
This person is an absolute danger to the community. He's an absolute danger to law enforcement. He's facing over 200 years imprisonment.
We will have more on this story Monday during the Fairbanks Evening News and News Center Final. And it's time once again for a look at the agency within the community that receives support from the United Way of the Tanana Valley. Mike Schultz shines this week's spotlight on the Midnight Sun Council of the Boy Scouts.
Founded nationally in 1910. Here in Alaska, scouting began in the 1920s, while the Midnight Sun Council in Fairbanks is celebrating their 54th year. Gary Lewis is the local scout executive. He says the funds he receives from the United Way help in many ways to support the agency.
For us, United Way monies come unrestricted, and it's a great funding source for us. It's a big part of what we do to make scouting happen here in the interior.
Gary says he's proud for the many ways scouting helps hundreds of individuals in the interior.
Good. There's several things that we've been able to do that I believe are good. One is that we are growing compared to much of the rest of the nation as far as scouting, even Girl Scouting and Boy Scouting. We are growing here, and we've averaged 2 to 4% increases over the last 3 or 4 years. Second of all, I think we've made some great increases in what we're doing as far as program out at our Lost Lake Scout Camp, both in maintenance and as well as program facilities there, as well as buildings and things like that. And we got more planned for the future. Third thing probably is that we're making a pretty big difference when it comes to our Learning for Life program. About 2 years ago, we decided to fund as a council and put together a program for every single youth in the North Star Fairbanks School District in the elementary school. So we have our Learning for Life program being done right now by school counselors once a week in the program. It's values education, character development, things that are not in a normal school curriculum, though that kids need.
When it comes to rewarding experiences, Gary says nothing can replace being active with the kids themselves.
Probably some of the best times I've had and most rewarding is attending Eagle Scout Court of Honors. blue and gold banquets for Cub Scout packs. And that's when I actually get a chance to interact with kids. And that does my heart good, and is part that I miss, you know, since even I was a kid, is being able to work with those youth. That keeps you young.
The United Way campaign continues until early next year, and remember, all donations stay within the community. Mike Schultz reporting.
And Austin Buchanan is coming up next with all your local sports action. Stay tuned.
Welcome, Interior Alaska, to our Saturday Sportscast. Austin Buchanan here. Time to take a look at some sports. The Hutchinson Hawks are going to Hawaii for basketball, but some other interior teams will be playing during the winter break. The West Valley Wolfpack will be in Wasilla next week, and Joe Cook has more.
The West Valley Wolfpack boys will be in a loaded tournament next week. The Pack earned the 6th annual Doc Larson Classic. The field includes some hot Alaskan teams. Thunder Mountain, Service, and Barrow all won their first tournaments of the season. Wasilla and the Mesa Verde Mavs from California complete the field. West Valley is 2-1 after splitting with South Anchorage last weekend. Along with Daniel Hornbuckle's 62-point weekend, the Wolfpack have shown the ability to rebound. They feel that will be critical in their next few games.
Rebounds, for sure. Anything off the glass, anything on defensive rebounds, offensive rebounds, that's about it. We got some good shooters, we got some good postmen, so I think we're ready.
You know, we got guys knocking down shots, we got guys rebounding. I think this is the biggest or the best rebounding team I've ever had. So, you know, we box out, they crash the boards, and then they get it out in transition, so that's nice to see.
Because this tournament has some tough tests for the Pack, this will be used as a barometer for how well they can improve from a season ago.
It makes you just look forward to improve and keep going, you know, make sure everybody's getting involved and make sure we're bringing forth better effort than last year, you know, just make sure we're taking a step forward instead of a step backwards.
It's a really competitive field, so we'll need to just go in and execute what we do. You know, make sure we're taking care of our business on the defensive end, finishing plays like Joaquin said, and then just sharing the ball and making sure everybody's getting touches. So,
the Doc Larson tournament starts Monday in Wasilla.
All right, thanks, Joe. It may be holiday season if you're not an athlete, but for the North Pole Patriots, it's tournament time. Let's see what the Patriots were prepping for earlier today.
Head coach Steve Bolden preps his team for the Clark Cochran Christmas Tournament, which takes place Monday night in Ketchikan. The Patriots return to the hardwood after a week off due to Christmas break. North Pole enters the tournament coming off a big win against the Eielson Ravens prior to the break. With that victory, the Patriots now have a record of 1-1 for the season. Players and coaches early this morning practiced inside Patriots Gymnasium for Monday night's game against the tournament host Ketchikan Kings. The Patriots had some help as several alumni came out on their own time to help the team get ready. I was able to catch up with one particular alumnus who is now assistant coach for the Patriots.
Well, as a player here, I never imagined myself coming back and helping out with the program. But now that I am back, I feel that I have experience and things to offer these youngsters that I wasn't able to have. Someone who was close in age that they could relate to, who you could feel comfortable with talking to and learning the game from.
This tournament is a start for some players and coaches this season, but for one Patriots senior, his season has been cut to only 3 more games left in his high school career due to a torn ACL. But that's not stopping him from having the same mindset as the rest of his team.
Yeah, it's hard, season coming to an end, you know, last practice, last tournament, but it's been a fun 4 years, and being with the team is special, and I just want to go out with a bang. My mindset should be just like anybody else's. We want to win, we want to compete, we want to work hard.
As the Patriots prepare for the tournament, head coach Steve Bolden says the main focus is not all about winning games, but more about growing as a team.
Main focus of this tournament for us is going to be growing up as a team. We've got a lot of young guys out here, even though we have 7 seniors, not a whole lot of varsity experience. We've only got 2 games under our belt so far, so we get 3 down there, and just getting better as a team, growing up and working as a team, really just bonding and figuring out who we are, our identity down there.
Well, that'll wrap up our sportscast tonight. And just a heads up, I will be gone for the next 2 weeks. Joe Cook will be in the seat for your weekend sports. I will see you back on January 17th 2016. Have a happy new year, and Katie Looper has your full weather forecast coming up next. Stay tuned. Well, welcome back, Interior Alaska. And Katie, there was some fresh snow last night.
Oh, yeah.
And outside, there's a pretty good amount, actually, on the ground. And looks like you had fun today.
Yeah, the skiers loved it. They're all taking advantage of that.
I just got a snow machine, so we're going to check it out. What we're looking like for the rest of the week?
Well, let's see. We have a normal high today of 38 and a normal low of -58. Our normal high was 3 degrees and our normal low was -15. Our sun rose around 11 this morning and set at 2:47 this afternoon. Our daylight equals 3 hours and 48 minutes altogether, giving us a gain now of 1 minute and 48 seconds. That's nice to say. All right, let's see what's happening around the rest of the state. Sunny skies for Juneau and Ketchikan, 30 in Juneau, 40 in Ketchikan. Rain showers for Kodiak around 36, and Anchorage and Cold Bay both cloudy at around 24 in Anchorage, 37 in Cold Bay. Sunny skies for Bethel at 37, snow showers for Denali. Nome is looking nice around 24, yet quite the difference in Barrow at -25 with cloudy skies, and then in the interior -16 for Fairbanks. All right, let's slide on down to our lower 48, and Seattle's at 49 with rain showers. Vegas is at 48, Phoenix a little warmer at 60 degrees with partly sunny skies. And as for Dallas, 43, rain showers in New Orleans at 71, Miami's looking gorgeous at 81, and New York 55 with rain showers. Now, as for next week, there's going to be a huge Arctic plunge going across the United States, but it's going to stay dry there in the deep south and keep warm around Miami, yet a little cooler in our northeast around New York. All right, now let's bring things back home to Alaska. Snow in Nome, partly cloudy in Fort Yukon, and mostly cloudy in Barrow. Barrow's at 8, Fort Yukon is at -4, and warmer in Nome at 31. All right, let's bring things down to the interior. It's partly cloudy all across the region. Fairbanks is at 16, Delta at 19, and Healy warmer at 26. Now moving down to the southeast, it's sunny skies for them. Juneau's at 30, and Ketchikan a little warmer, 36. Now as we move west, we can see what's happening there. Rain in Cold Bay, rain and snow at Bethel, and rain for Kodiak tomorrow, and temperatures all around 40 degrees. Now for tonight's forecast, -18 with partly cloudy skies, but for tomorrow we can expect it to be 16 degrees, partly cloudy with warmer temps in the hills. So this is going to be a nice change from today. We had a little bit cooler temperatures. All right, now for our extended outlook, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are all going to be hanging around 20 degrees. As for Thursday and Friday, 15, and our nightly temperatures are going to stay pretty consistent around the mid-teens for them. Oh, and one more thing about Healy, there's going to be wind gusts, a warning for them, about 70 miles per hour in the passes. So anybody who's there or passing through, there's a warning for you.
Definitely slow down. Be careful. Try to stay indoors if possible.
Yes.
Wow. Well,
all right, well, that's going to wrap up our Saturday edition of Fairbanks Evening News, and we're glad you could join us.
And you can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a good night.